I wanted to show you a couple things about our address table at this point, our secure MAC address table that is. And first off, the rather restrictive aging that we enabled at the end of the last video has taken effect because the dynamic entry that was on 0/2 has now totally aged out. The one we have on 01 is still there because aging, as with just about everything else we do with port security, it's on a per port basis. So we didn't change aging on 0/1. Now, the only issue with a dynamically learned secure address is that on a reload, we're going to lose it. That entry will be flushed out. That'll actually happen if the port just gets reset. If I do a shut, no shut right now, I believe we will lose that address. Let's go ahead and give it a try. We'll do a shut, and then a no shut for it, and you can see it's actually been removed, and I'll do that one more time. Now, of course, with one address, you could say, well, is it really that big a deal for the switch to have to relearn one dynamically learned address? I would say no, not really. But of course, we could have dozens of dynamically learned addresses, and maybe we want the switch just to come up and already have those if it's reloaded. Let's see if it's learned that again yet. Yep, there it is. So it didn't take long. We had some other traffic come in, and it was carrying that MAC address, and it's been listed as secure dynamic. But what if we want that to be kept even if the port goes down? What if we want it to be kept even if the switch is reloaded? That's where sticky addressing comes in. What you're doing with sticky addressing is these secure dynamic addresses are then written to the running config. So they're kept on a reload. You just do a yes when it says you want to save your work if you haven't done it yet. When you reload the switch, and it's going to save them. And when the switch comes back up, the addresses are already there. They don't have to be learned again. That's not a bad deal. So let's go ahead and enable that on that particular interface. And it's switch port, port security. What now? There's no sticky option. Where is it? It's in MAC address. And then sticky is at the end of that. And there are no options. We're always happy to have no options there. So now let's run show port security address and notice the change under type of that same address. We've seen it as secure dynamic for the last couple of videos because frankly that's what it was. But now it's listed as secure sticky. So let's go ahead and shut that port down. And usually that'll get rid of your dynamic addresses in a heartbeat. And it would here too, but this is no longer a dynamically learned address. It is a sticky address, and therefore it's going to be kept in that particular scenario. So I will go ahead and do a no shut. And it's going to say the exact same thing. But again, it's going to be kept on a port reset or even a switch reset. It's a pretty cool feature. Actually, what we will do, I am going to pause this video because this switch does take a few minutes to reload, but I'm going to go ahead and just reload the switch. And yeah, I want to save my changes. System config has been modified. It's going to ask you if you really want to proceed with the reload, and I said yes. So what I'll do is go ahead and just pause the video right now, and once the switch comes back up, I will unpause the video. I'll do a shut no shut on the video, and we'll see if those addresses are still there after that reload. And we're back. Just wanted to show you some of the stuff that we're going through here, and I did indeed reload. And you remember what POST stands for, right? What are those? Power on self-test, little test it runs before it really starts booting. So all our posts passed and everything. We got the warning about the cryptographic features, don't mess around, and some information there about the switch itself. And then finally, once we got through the intro messages, I ran show port security address, and there is the address. It's still listed as secure sticky. So some good stuff there. That's all a sticky address is. That's all there is to it. And on the very next video, we're going to go back to something about the error disabled ports. Because I'm sure you remember I put a little emphasis on by default, error disabled ports have to be manually reset. There is a way around that. It's not really a workaround because it is a Cisco feature. It's built into the switch about automatic recovery from an error disabled status. And I will show you all about that, and we'll test it on the next vid. See you there.